Hello there. I'm sitting here in my garage. Cue the Ty Lopez jokes, but really, I'm sitting here in my garage because it is raining in Southern California, which is very rare. Normally, I'd be standing in front of the car. That's not really an option right now because it's pouring. But I wanted to introduce you to this first episode of the actual teardown of Project E46. I mentioned in the last episode, kind of gave the game plan. Here's the actual first episode of really digging into the car. So when the footage gets started, I will have the car on jack stands, and basically I'll have removed the exhaust and the drive shaft. Basically, and that's it. And then you are starting from the very beginning of the process of everything I did to this car. So today, I guess not today, but in this video, I'm doing the shifter rebuild. Basically, the stock E46 shifter was very floppy and terrible. Sometimes I'd find fifth gear instead of third. Sometimes I'd find third gear instead of fifth. Obviously not a very good situation, especially for a track and drift car. ECS Tuning sells a shifter rebuild kit, which I bought. And this is the process of me pulling the shifter out of the car, which is a pain in the butt, rebuilding the shifter and putting it back in, and doing some kind of cleaning and detailing along the way. I had to divide the video into multiple parts because it's very, very long. So this is part one, which is all about removing the shifter from the car. So we're going to jump in right to that part, which should be like right here. Alright, it's super dark in here, so hopefully you can see what's going on. But I've been working on the E46, trying to kind of do everything while the car is up in the air. So in preparation for dropping the subframe, doing the diff and all the bushings and all that stuff, I've removed the drive shaft. So the mystery clunk, I thought it was just down to the diff bushings, but it turns out that my guibo is totally screwed and the having support bearings in worse shape than I thought, so we're going to replace both of those. Fortunately, the U-joints look okay, so that's good. I'm starting at the front of the car, so I'm doing the shifter rebuild right now. So I'm actually in the process of taking the shifter out. If you look under the car, I've removed the shift rod, and I'm actually about to pull the shifter assembly out of the car right now. So let's do that. Okay, so I've already taken some of the interior out, so the knob, the boot, and the insulator. I should be able to just take this out. Yeah, it's pretty loose. Okay, how does this come off? Maybe the shifter's not all the way out. Let me get back under the car. While I had the shifter apart, of course, I painted the shift selector rod satin lagoon because, well, why not? All right, so I got the shifter assembly out of the car. I was a bit confused trying to remove this insulator. This boot is actually much larger than I expected. I got under the car and realized that this lip actually goes pretty deep into the chassis. So you have to peel it back with a screwdriver and then kind of wedge your pry tool in there to kind of slip the whole thing up out of the car. So here is the shifter assembly. Here is the shifter ball cap. This thing's toast, so we're gonna replace this. Alright guys, so I set the camera down under the car. Hopefully you can see kind of what we're working with here. Here's the shifter assembly, and here's where it goes into the transmission. So I've removed the actual shifter itself up here so you can see the interior of the car. Right here is the little adjuster that allows the shifter to go left and right. That's how you select reverse, first, third, and fifth. This guide, I'm not sure what the technical term is, has a C-clip that people like to complain about. I was following some instructions online and it kind of just said remove it, which is a little bit vague. But I managed to get it off. Kind of a couple minutes to play around with it. But let me show you. So here's the C-clip here. It mounts on right here and holds this in place. It's obviously of a tight fit so it doesn't fall out, and it can rotate freely so you can't get tons of leverage on it. What I did is I used two screwdrivers to remove this. First, I used this very tiny screwdriver. You can see it's super thin, and I kind of just wiggled it around back and forth against the lip of the C-clip here until I was able to kind of just slip under it from the edge, like hit it from the side like this, and slip under like this. That gave me just enough leverage to kind of pry it up until there was a gap, and the screwdriver wasn't strong enough. So with that gap, I was able to slip in this bigger screwdriver where the small one was, like this, slide the small screwdriver on the other side and just pry until it came off. So if you're stuck on this step, that's kind of what you should do. Use 2 screwdrivers, a small one and a larger one, and kind of force your way in. Alright, so I looked it up online. It's called the shift joint rod, supposedly. So I've removed the C-clip, and the next thing that holds this in place, see, I can't pull it out, is a dowel pin that I can now see right here. That's very tight. I'm not really sure how to get at that. Yeah, the output shaft of the transmission's kind of in the way. Let me grab an angled pick and see if this will fit. I'm not sure if it's strong enough because it's so thin. Let's see if I can do that. How's it going? What is longer? I'm not sure. I can't reach this. I should feel it. You think it would be? There's not this. So this would be. What reason is? There it goes. Alright. So I used my little tiny pick. I think it's only like maybe half an inch long. I was able to get it in between the shifter rod and the shift joint, and I was able to push the dowel pin down. So I need to finish pushing it down. Ow. There we go. Alright. So the instructions I read online says you can push it up or down, but I don't think up's an option, at least on my car, my 99 through 28. I'm fairly sure it's the same as in all cars, but so here's the dowel pin that locks the shift joint in. So now the C-clip is removed and the dowel pin's removed, and there. Again, I apologize for the bad camera angle. I have no idea if you can see everything I'm working at, but there we go. Looks like there's a bushing in here. It seems pretty firm, but maybe it could be worn out. That is gnarly. It's so gummed up in there. It's gross. Okay. So I'm trying to keep all my pieces together in one spot here in the garage. Don't lose anything. So I'm going to reference the instructions, but what I see here is a C-clip here and a little C-clip here. And I think that should free the shifter, but I'm going to double check that and then get back to you. Alright, a quick side note. I was referencing the how-to I found online, and they mentioned the shift joint rod I just removed. Actually, in addition to the dowel pin and the C-clip, actually has a foam insert inside this metal casing, I guess to smooth out shift harshness. And they said the foam can wear out with time, so I wanted to put mine, which I'm guessing is original, 200 whatever thousand miles on it, in the sunlight so you can see it. If you can see where the foam once was, but it's just completely disintegrated and falling apart. Hopefully it shows up on camera, but it's totally screwed. I was picking it out by finger. It's like me just touching it removes chunks of it. So this is junk. I'm glad we're replacing this. Alright, next we need to remove this guy. Looks like I can jam a flathead in these little detents. So let's see if I have the right sized tool to do so. So I wasn't sure if my screwdriver was too large. I ended up just hammering that fucker in there and it came out. So. Oh yeah, that's totally trashed. How soft that is. Garbage. Okay, so the shifter is almost free. Yeah, almost done. Last 20 minutes wrestling with what's called the bitch clip. It's the dowel pin and clip that hold the front of the shifter assembly into the transmission. I'm going to pull it out so you can see it, but the best thing I did was jam the flathead screwdriver on top, has a tab you can bend up, and once you bend that tab up, you need a little leeway to get your screwdriver in there and twist it about 90 degrees clockwise, and that kind of slides it in place and pops it up and pops it free. So it makes it felt as if I broke the damn thing. It was pretty violent. I'm guessing it's been in here for a long time, but that's free, and so is the shifter. And that bushing is toast. All right, well, the rebuild continues. All right. So here is what's called the bitch clip. You can see that if you're facing the front of the car, it's bolted in like this. I'll put it down. So you want to get your flathead under this tab. It feels totally flat at first. I couldn't even feel it. I kind of just jammed my screwdriver in there and had to feel for it. Once you bend this tab up, you can put your flathead underneath it, twist it counterclockwise, and that frees this little section over here until the whole thing pops up, and that's how it comes out. All right, that was part one of the shifter rebuild process. We had the shifter out of the car, and the next episode is going to be doing the rebuild, cleaning things up, and hopefully putting the shifter back in the car. So stick around, that episode's coming up soon, because like I said, I've already filmed and done all of this. It's just a matter of kind of cutting it up and editing it. So for everyone who's been following along, thank you very much. The comments have been great, which is surprising for YouTube videos, but yeah, stay tuned. I'm gonna try and knock these videos out really quick because I've done so much with the car. I want to get you guys caught up to speed. And so yeah, stay tuned. Please subscribe or don't. You don't have to. It's your choice. But I think there's gonna be a button right here to subscribe if you want to do that. So I'm just saying. So